booking photos or mugshots, and the timing of their release now being debated on Utah's Capitol Hill this legislative session. In tonight's 360 report, we talked to those people behind the bill that would protect those pictures, those in support of the change, and those who argue against it, saying it would restrict what should be available to the public. A closer look now at the mugshot issue, public record or a presumption of guilt.
Historically, a mugshot didn't have the kind of effect on a defendant that it does today.
Utah County Attorney David Levitt says a mugshot or booking photo taken when a person is arrested is something that shouldn't be immediately released.
When most people see a mugshot, they see there's a criminal who's been convicted of a crime.
Not necessarily innocent until proven guilty.
I've had constituents as well as others in our state that have had personal and business and economic upheaval.
GOP Representative KEVEN STRATTON from Utah County sponsored House Bill 228, which classifies as a protected record and image taken of an individual during the process of booking the individual into jail, and prohibits a sheriff from disclosing a protected record.
We're just talking about the timing of the release of the mugshot. That's it.
There are a couple exemptions if the suspect is an imminent threat or a wanted fugitive or a judge orders it. In San Francisco last year, police stopped releasing most mugshots, saying they perpetuate racial stereotypes. Lex Scott from Black Lives Matter Utah testified in support of the bill during public comment this past week.
I just want to say that Black Lives Matter is in favor of this bill. I disagree with them releasing mugshots, especially every time someone is killed by police. The first thing that is done is their mugshot is released, even if the person did not commit a crime. So I am in full support of this bill, and I want to thank you for bringing this bill.
We have fought for the notion that public records should be public records. Mugshots are, by definition, public records because they are generated by a public entity.
Dan SHELLEY is executive director of the group Radio Television Digital News Association.
Journalists are very discerning and very careful about the use of mugshots, particularly during this era of racial reawakening.
He says it's unconstitutional to restrict their release.
House Bill 228 is an affront to the First Amendment. It's an affront to the public's need to know what's going on in their communities.
Mugshots have been open and available to the public forever. For decades and decades.
Mike O'Brien is an attorney representing the Utah Media Coalition.
Mugshots have been used to identify mistaken defendants, right? Mistaken arrests. They've been used to identify additional victims to a crime. They've been used to identify the possibility of police abuse or police impropriety in terms of arrest.
He says now is not the time to restrict access.
They want to shut it down to benefit just a few select individuals as opposed to the greater public good that exists with access.
Some would say that this is sort of the right of the public versus the right of those who are accused.
Certainly you can express sympathy with those individuals who've had their mugshots publicized, but that doesn't happen the vast majority of the time.
But proponents say the right of the individual should supersede the public's interest.
Let's go take your mugshot. Let's put it up on social media for an hour. Then let's try to take it down. And let's track what that does to your life for the next 12 months or the next 10 years. And my guess is those people would feel differently.
Levitt screens cases in his office for criminal charges, but says he sees too often people already criminalized, pointing to Utah's state constitution that goes even further.
It says that arrested persons shall not be subject to unnecessary rigor or cruel and unusual punishment.
Working to pull down a booking photo from the internet for years to come, he and Representative Stratton believe falls into that category.
The constitutional rights of the individual, the constitutional rights of the public, the freedom of speech, the First Amendment, the Seventh Amendment, those are the balances that we're trying to weigh in.
Now, Representative Stratton's bill passed unanimously last week in a Senate Judiciary Committee. It is now on the Senate floor.